What's up, guys? I'm Anna, and I'm here to get you totally stoked about your required reading. Welcome to Get Lit. Today's book, 1984 by George Orwell. A guy I once dated told me that his favorite novel was 1984, and boy oh boy was that a red flag! George Orwell's prophetic novel, written in 1949, depicts a dystopian future in which the world is controlled by ominous and omnipotent Big Brother. In fact, Orwell, along with such writers as Aldous Huxley and Jack London, invented the dystopian genre from which many modern works, including V for Vendetta and Hunger Games, take a page. The novel is split into 3 parts, and the first part is mostly explaining what this future looks like. It follows Winston Smith through his life, which is under constant scrutiny by telescreens, which is basically like you're constantly FaceTiming the police. Winston is keeping his head down, but inside he knows that this is not how man was meant to live. Also inside, he is incredibly sexist and sexually repressed. Having sex isn't illegal, nothing is strictly illegal, but like most things, committing the act will get you sent straight to the mysterious Ministry of Love, where you will be vaporized and never heard from again. Oh, and if you couldn't tell from vaporized and never heard from again, the love part is ironic. Well, surprise, surprise! The second part of the book is mostly about banging. Winston starts up a secret affair with a woman named Julia, who earlier in the book he has a fantasy about raping and killing, and he tells her that and she's fine with it. But that's probably due to the fact that the population is desensitized to mindless violence. The only movies you can go see is just footage of people dying in the war. Every day they partake in the 2 Minutes Hate, where they're shown the face of the supposed rebel leader Goldstein and they all just scream at him. It's basically the emotional version of The Purge or any Facebook comment section. Julia and Winnie make out pretty much everywhere. At one point, a bomb goes off and they're flung to the ground, and in the ensuing chaos, they sneak in a quick makeout sesh. I'm not gonna spoil the third part for you, but it gets pretty dark. How is 1984 relevant to your life today? Well, let me read you this quote from a letter that George Orwell wrote concerning the book. "With this go the horrors of emotional nationalism and a tendency to disbelieve in the existence of objective truth because all the facts have to fit in with the words and prophecies of some infallible Führer." Sound familiar?
Alternative facts.
There's actually a ton of stuff that's applicable to the current US political climate. George Orwell focuses greatly on freedom of speech and even freedom of thought. He's concerned with facts and truth, both of which are under the control of the party. The invention of print, however, made it easier to manipulate public opinion, and the film and the radio carried the process further. The party has total control over the media, deleting predictions that never came true, and changing articles about people who were vaporized, making it seem like they never existed at all. Also relevant is the discussion on how to maintain power. Orwell suggests that you keep power by making sure that the lowest class can only focus on getting by. If you have to work 40 hours a week just to pay rent, you're not gonna have much time left to overthrow a government. As per usual, there's a generous helping of sexism. Orwell practically opens up the book by saying, it was always the women, and above all the young ones, who were the most bigoted adherents of the party, the swallowers of slogans, the amateur spies, and nosers out of unorthodoxy. Bitches. At one point, Winston muses on whether a woman used to be pretty or not before she had a bunch of kids and ruined herself. How dare she? Couple of things you might have missed if you read too quickly. The first time Julia and Winston try to have sex, he can't get a boner. It was too soon. Her youth and prettiness had frightened him. Never mind, dear. There's no hurry. On page 101, Winston gets diarrhea. Also, Orwell is kind of a basic bitch. He uses the word literally all the time. Just drinking his pumpkin spice latte and writing a classic. Classic. This book is heavy, but it is filled with important ideas and fascinating political what-ifs. While you're reading, remember to Google it! If you don't know what a word means or what kind of fabric braise is, Google it. Reading is so much more satisfying when you understand it wholly. I underlined too many quotes in 1984 to count. It's a terrifying and cautionary tale of power and oppression. Here's one I'll leave you with. For if leisure and security were enjoyed by all alike, the great mass of human beings who are normally stupefied by poverty would become literate and would learn to think for themselves. And when once they had done this, they would sooner or later realize that the privileged minority, the 1%, had no function and they would sweep it away. See? It's your civic duty to be educated. So keep reading, my little bookworms, because George Orwell himself right there has outlined the importance of getting lit. Like this video and share it with your friends and classmates, and be sure to leave us a comment on your thoughts on 1984. Also, if you want to keep getting lit, be sure to subscribe to Snarled.